Hello everyone, so today we will see another concept in the objective-oriented programming, which is the inheritance. So inheritance, it is not a complicated concept, it is just signify that a class can inherit from another class, an upper class. So to do this, we can just give some examples. So class, for example, the class that creates all humans. For example, we can initialize this class by the special method which is init. So we will pass to it self and, for example, the name of this person, of this human that we want to create. Of course, a human cannot be created, but here we are speaking about the human object in programming. So we just can use this attribute name, so to not be confused with the other variable, so we can just give it the letter n, which refers to the name of this person. So if we create the first person or the first human just by doing like that, so we will give it a name, for example, I don't know, George, for example. So if we print this the attribute of this p1, so its attribute which is the name, we will have its name, so George. Good. So what we will do now is to create another class which not create all humans or all types of humans, but that one that creates, for example, only the girls. So class girls, girl, for example. So we can repeat this initialization here with all this information, but we can do better by this concept of inheritance. So here we'll create two parentheses, and inside them we'll put the name of the class from which we will inherit all the attributes and methods that it have. For example, so here we put human. So that simply means that this class, which is girl, inherited all the tools that human have. So now we can just, for example, write pass. So if we create another human and we'll give it G for girl, and if we give her her name, for example, I don't know, Helen, for example. So if we print now this or the attribute name of this G, will have her name. So even if this class have not defined any attribute name, it still use this attribute because it inherited it from a human. We can also add here in human some I don't know, some methods, for example def, for example get get the name, for example, and no so self, and what this method will do is just give us the return for us the return the name of this person, of this human. Good. And so here, if we use this method, so get name, and we have to use parentheses, empty parentheses, but they must be written. So here we have also the name. So we have or we were able to use this attribute, which is name, and this method, which is get name, here in the second class, in this child class. It is the child or the baby of the human class. Good. And we can also create here, for example, another method which is not defined in a human class. For example, we'll define for example set I don't know, for example set name, and always with self, with the object, we'll give it another name, for example. So here we will change this name by another name. So here, if we use it, so get yes, get name, but here we'll change the name of this G. So G set name of this person, of for example we will call it I don't know, Adele, for example. So now if we get the name, it will be changed. Human object attribute set name. So human yes, here not human, but girl. I forgot it. So girl. Yes. So if we check it, it is Adele. So here it is the class girl, not a human. We have did an error in before. Good. So if we want, for example, to get the old name, it is Helen. Although this self name, this attribute, it is not defined in girl, in the class girl. Good. For example, here we have just this attribute name, and we have no attribute about the age. If we want to create it here, of course we can repeat define initialization, but we can do better and use the first initialization and add what we want to add. So for this we will to inherit the attributes that human already have. So the name, we have just to create, so div a new initialization with init, and of course give it all the arguments which it takes. So self, the name, and the age, because we will give for those girls an age. So to not repeat all the arguments that a human already has, we have just to write super So super, it is a method or a function which inherited from the superclasses. So super what? Super the initialization, the initial init, and we'll remember this class that we have already the name, and we'll pass to define the new attribute. So self what, of course, self age, we'll name it clearly, explicitly, and we will give it a. So this age that we will give to this argument. So here I already have give this girl which has the name Helen. I give her the age which is 23. So if we seek the age of this girl, we'll have it here. And of course, the other attribute, which is the name, it is also here. So Helen with her age. So this is how we use inheritance in Python. So first of all, we have the superclass, which is here human, and we have created the new class, which is girl, that inherited from human, and we can give it new attributes, but we can also have the old attributes by this function, which is super, and we can also give it new methods, but we can also use the old ones. So this is how inheritance in this inheritance function in Python. So this is what we have for today. Thank you and see you in the next session.